Okay guys, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to use spears. Well, let's get on to it. Okay guys, now that we're at the arena, I'll show you the spears we have in Blade and Sorcery. First of all, we have the Sentry Spear, the Bladed Staff, the Wing Spear, Arrowhead Spear, Javelin, Pitchfork, and Hayfork. These two don't really count as spears, but they worked all the same. So, to demonstrate how to use a spear, I'll be showing you with this one, the winged spear. As you can see, we now have a willing participant. When you're using a spear, you want to hold it in front of you, like this, or you can hold it like this. This allows you to thrust, like this, or let your hand move along the shaft by pressing trigger and grip at the same time. And if you aim correctly, like this, you can stab them. I suggest when fighting an enemy using this grip, you want to stab them like this. It's much easier to stab them. This is mainly to have more control and aim. With this, you have control, but you're more likely to let the spear flow through your hand like this. It's much easier to do it like this than to do it like this. As you can see. So, another thing you can do with spears is if you hit them at their leg, you can trip them. And that is an example of when you would use this grip. Another thing with spears is, well, you can throw them. It's more like you push forward, and when you release, you want to release there. You don't want to do that. Where basically what's happening is I'm throwing it by release when it's like this. You want to release with your hand straight. Or you can walk and then push forward. When you're using a spear, you have a long shaft, which you can use to defend yourself against enemy attacks.
Attack!
Like this.
You shouldn't be here.
You should block the enemy when using a spear. You can block it with the shaft. I'd say the spear is one of the easier weapons to parry enemies with, considering the fact that you have a long stick in the way of the enemy weapons. When fighting an enemy, usually with a spear, you want to keep them at a distance. So hold the spear tip away from you, aiming at the enemy so they don't want to approach you. And use your range advantage to stab them.
Ready for this.
Or, as shown previously, you can trip them and stab them while they're on the floor. Like that. That is the basics of how to use a spear. Now, you can also... There's a lot more things you could do with a spear.
Attack!
Like this. If your enemy's a bit too close for your liking, you can push them away. Pushing them away allows you to give yourself space. So, you can more easily stab them. When it comes to spear, you're not trying to decapitate your enemy. You're trying to aim for weak spots of your enemy, like their head, or the heart.
Attack!
As you can see, since I'm holding the spear like this, I have a clear shot at the enemy's head. This also works as blocking as well. So, that's the basics of how to use spears. All the other spears are pretty much the same. Like this one. The arrowhead spear, pretty much the same.
Let's make this quick.
You can guard with the shaft. You can hold it in a reverse grip. Hold it up. And stab. You can also throw it. When you come to the last two spears, the bladed staff and the sentry spear, they actually both have 2 points on both ends, which you can deal damage with.
Eat dirt.
As you can see, the sharp point allows you to stab enemies. It also allows you to do some pretty cool things, like a finisher. You get a hold of your enemy, you can lift them up, and stab them through your spear. Mind you, this does take some aim. Like that. Now, the enemy is stuck here, and usually is dead. You can do the same thing with the bladed staff. It's just a bit easier, considering the fact that the blade point is
This
a bit lower to the ground. But another thing with the dual bladed staff, is this is a blade. So it allows you to slit throats. You can also decapitate with it like that. Remember, when using
My
a dual
blade
bladed
is
staff though,
ready.
is you have 2 deadly ends. When I use the dual bladed staff, I like holding it like this. Because with the dual bladed staff, you're not doing a lot of this action. In my opinion. You're more holding it like this, guarding, stabbing, precisely like this. Since you have a lot less of a shaft than you would with most of the other spears.
easy.
Like this. Make sure to utilize both ends of the spear. Don't just utilize one end of it. You're losing a lot of your deadly power when you're only using one end. Another thing with a dual blade staff, it has 2 points at where you can imbue. So as you can see, I have fire and gravity. Or I can have gravity and lightning. So now I can hit my enemies and stun them with electricity, or I can hit them with gravity. Another cool thing with this is if you do imbue your dual bladed staff with lightning and gravity, when you have an enemy and throw your spear correctly, it will auto aim to your enemy. You might have to jump to get your spear back though. As you can see, the spear is auto aiming to where the enemy is. This can be useful in many ways. Say you're up here, say you're up high, and you need to kill an enemy, but you're not very good at aiming. Well, if you have this, it's not a problem. Say you have an enemy that's basically behind a wall. You just gotta throw it forward in a general direction of the enemy, then you will hit them. You could use this in the middle of a fight too. I wouldn't really recommend doing that, but you can do it. And if you do decide to do it like this, I suggest throwing it with the gravity side. If you were to throw it with the gravity side, and if you don't kill your enemy, unlike what I just did, you throw the spear at an enemy and it doesn't kill him, it'll inflict them with gravity, which lets you stab away. Spears can be very useful in another way too. Considering the fact that they have such a long shaft, you can, if you hold the spear below you, aim downwards, you don't take fall damage. As long as the spear is beneath you, it slows you down so you don't take fall damage. I'll show you with this winged spear. As you can see, I don't have any magic equipped right now. I have a spear, and if I fall down, as you can hear, I did not take damage. If I were to take damage, you'd hear it, like this. Another thing you can do is a pogo. Hold the top of the spear, pull your hands down, jump, and now you got a bigger jump. And this is all you need to know about spears. If you found this video helpful, remember to like and subscribe, and goodbye!